Ain't it great, though, that we've got a sport that requires us to try a little harder? Because if we don't try to become a better skydiver, we become a flatter skydiver. You learn how to snowboard, same thing. You learn how to surf, same stuff. Things that are challenging and scary and dangerous, that have a flow state that is your safety. That's the way I look at it. Where that meditation in motion is the middle of the river. The middle of the river doesn't bounce into the sides. And so when you're in that flow state through the experience, and you have within it the ability to find your way back to that flow when you get off of it, when you get into the eddies, so to speak, where you're spinning out mentally, you have the resiliency to return back to it. Not only the actions of it, but the emotions of it, the feelings of it.
Right.
That is a very, very worthwhile book, Flow. It's Csikszentmihalyi. I don't know if you've read it.
No.
It's a little bit thick. It's a little, parts of it get a little bit dense, but it's about the psychology of optimal experience, of high performers, people that really cultivate the skill on a level where it becomes transpersonal. It's not egoic anymore. You're really you're gone and present at the same time. You're 100% gone because it's not you doing it. You're just in this. There's this awareness of what's next. And I'm just I'm feeling what I'm feeling, and I'm looking forward into my next moves in a way that is not just transpersonal but trans-time, because time slows down for you or becomes infinite, or however you want to look at it. Right? What a topic! What a topic! I think everybody must have experiences where they can resonate with that idea of the flow state. He actually he talks a lot about this being the optimal human experience, which is a value judgment, but it doesn't mean it's about being a concert pianist necessarily. Yes, that's a very, very deep flow state when they're playing, but it can be you're doing the dishes. You're only doing the dishes, and you're really focused on it. It can be when you're into the rhythm of paddling your kayak or pedaling your bike. It can be, love making or reading, or where you're completely in this now moment. People say, I don't meditate. Well, tell me a bit about yourself. Anybody, you can say, no, this is meditation right here. What you're doing. You can feel, you can feel that separation from the egoic mind, where you're completely in an expansive state of consciousness. And I think it's why we're here, personally. I think to have that experience, and to be able to next level it, to level it up, as my kids would call it, to a cooperative flow experience with others.
Right.
Best thing ever. 4-way is a great one. It's where you're almost reading each other's minds. It's amazing just watching a really good team exiting. They don't necessarily have to yell anything, right? It's silent. It might be like a little bit of emotion, and they're out. Where was the exit count? Don't need one if you're on the Ethernet.
You're all in tune.
Yeah. Well, we're human beings are capable of this. Yeah, we just have to. You got to try. There's that word again. You just have to sort of reach out, knowing that it's there. Knowing that it's capable. That you're capable of having that experience. Maybe seeing the other things in your life where you have expertise in flow, and remembering what that felt like, and then bringing it into these areas where you don't have the flow yet, where you're sort of chunky and you're grinding the gears, so to speak, and as you're trying to get the hang of something new, to sort of build yourself up into readiness, where you're it's accessible. The experience of flow is accessible, but it's not there when you're in doubt. It's not there when you're immersed in fear. It's not there when you're pissed at yourself for not doing it right. You can't get there from here. Yeah. And so I just think that when we talk about that aspect of it, you call it the mind game or whatever, it helps us to be able to have more inroads back into that experiences and to have zero tolerance for when we're going in the opposite direction from that.
Yeah.
To go, I don't feel good. Okay, do something about it. Maybe it means step back. Maybe it means close your eyes and breathe and only breathe, and that's the only thing that's happening. Is noticing the breath, relaxing the body, until I'm, compatible, a compatible component to the flow experience, where I can step aside from thought. And then hopefully, as we start to add more awareness to that process of returning to flow,
Right.
we can share it. Yeah. How do you tell somebody who's never felt the flow experience in any part of jumping out of an airplane? It's all just and difficult, and they don't know what to do, and they don't know where to look. Just everything is just overwhelming. To share and explain your experience of being in the flow and noticing what you do when you get out of it. How much time do you spend in self-aggression when you make a mistake?
Right.
A quarter of a second would be a long time. Right? Fail short.
Yeah, especially in the mind. I mean, a quarter of a second is a long time.
It is a long time. Absolutely. Yeah. It's last night, perfect example. I'm laying down with Matthew. I finished reading. I was too tired, and he's still chatty. And I fell asleep for, couldn't have been more than about 5 seconds. He said, Dad, and when he wanted to ask me some question or telling me a story, I said, Matthew, you're not going to believe it. I just had a dream. He's like, no, you didn't. No, I had a whole dream. I was driving some kid to college, and we were talking, and then he was like, no, you don't understand. Time is not linear. Yes, you can measure it, and yet you can't measure the human experience of it. Yeah, it was literally in five. It was like a blink, and there was an entire dream.
You experience the entire dream.
Mm-hmm. And so then when you think about somebody who's up there scared, then they're having an entire experience in the blink of an eye of what they don't want to experience, of the scary and the slammer opening or the tumbling out of control. Every time you blink your eyes and focus, whether it's deliberate focus or sort of by default of what you've been practicing in your mind, the negative practice, you're more likely to have that happen. You get to a certain point, you're like, yeah, I know how to hit a target with my parachute. I know how to exit stable. I know the concepts well enough that I can do all the things that I am comfortable doing. The question is, the golfer, right? They know how to swing, but sometimes it still goes into the trees. So the mental component is to be able to consistently do what you know how to do, and not falter through all the other variables that affect your performance. I think that's maybe what flow is the fact that we stop interfering. That the mind is not driving the experience. It's the experience driving the experience in the way that Robin Williams, he made a wonderful movie. He's a physician, and he's dealing with all these catatonic patients.
Awakening.
Awakenings, well done. And the part that really was an aha moment for me was he threw like a tennis ball to somebody and he caught it.
Yeah.
Right? And he said, do you remember the line? He borrows the will of the ball.
Mm.
It's depersonalization of the experience. You're just doing what needs to be done. And it's almost like it's doing it to you. Whether it's, you look at the target down to your left in the pattern, you turn to the outside because it's the thing to do to get to the target. There's nothing else. There's no thought in words, I should pull on the left toggle so that I don't overshoot and embarrass myself. No, you just do what needs to be done wordlessly, and even beyond concept. You're married to the need, and it just occurs.
I like that.
That's the flow state.
You're borrowing the will of the target.
Exactly. That's yes. If you hadn't said those words just then, I was going to say them. we were like totally on the Ethernet about that one. But yeah, it's true. It's very, very true. We just got to get out of our own way.
Yeah.
And sort of allow it to happen. But there has to be the framework, the conceptual framework where you understand what each thing does,
Right.
whether it's a body position change or a configuration change to your parachute or anything else. Yeah, that's the first gear, second gear. We're talking about sixth gear. You know what I mean? Where it just goes. It goes. Yeah. Amazing. Best sport ever. A sport that causes you to be a philosopher. I suppose all of them can, but there's something about jumping that makes you, forces your hand to deepen yourself.
What if this was the best jump of your life?
Or I can see tears. I see a choice, love or fear. What do you choose? I can see peace, or I can see war. I can see sunshine, or I can see a storm. What do you choose? No, I choose to love where freedom flies from my heart, where the light keeps shining. And I choose to feel the whole world crying for the strength that we can rise above. I choose love. I can see greed, I can see caring, or poverty. So what do you choose? I can see gardens, or I can see bombs. I can see life or death.